So we know that game 2 of the NBA Finals is tonight. As you guys heard in game 1, or the game 1 recap that I did yesterday, that we all had very fun talking about. Like I said, Brunson just pretty much took over. It wasn't anything really like to the numbers or analytic. It just Brunson took over. That's pretty much what happened. Down the stretch, it just Brunson clutched up. Like, it just what it was. He just clutched up, and he was captain clutch the entire fourth quarter, really the entire second half, because he'd make a couple shots, and, obviously he'd miss a couple, every now and then, but when they needed it, when the Knicks absolutely needed to make a shot, Brunson was always there to make a shot or with the pass or making the layup, doing the little floater that he does that is so money. Like, he was always right spot, right time, making the right play whenever the Knicks really needed it. Like I said, yes, he misses. All players do. But when they absolutely needed to have it, like a momentum, if they make this, they still got a chance, or they can extend their momentum, or they can extend the lead or whatever, he was always there with those shots. So tonight in game 2, to kind of piggyback off of that, I think he has to duplicate that performance. Now, I'm just gonna be honest. Do I feel like he's gonna have to maybe be like as what's the word I'm looking for? Lethal, like he was in game 1? I'll be honest, yes, but not with as much pressure, because I feel like this game, it'll be more even matched. Last game, Brunson went out earlier with an injury, so he kind of had to come back and readjust and, kind of get back into the rhythm of things. This time, I feel like it'll be just more straight through. I don't think, I think it'll just be an even match game. I think probably, I don't know if it'll be like one of those games to where either team has a lead, obviously teams will have leads, 5-point lead here and there, but I don't think it'll be one of those games to where a team has to necessarily catch up or has to just exert all this energy just to be in the game still, like I feel like Brunson in a way had to do in game 1. I don't think this game will be like that. I think it'll be a nice, smooth flowing game, and I think for the Knicks to win, I think Brunson has to, once again, like I said, I don't think he'll have to have as much pressure on him that he had in game 1, because like I said, I think that he was mad. I think that he was ticked off, for lack of a better way to say it, in game 1, because like I said, he was yelling at somebody behind the scorer's table, like after the game was over, and the ref Scott Foster had to hold him back, like from whoever he was talking to behind the scorer's table. I don't know who it was. They said it wasn't an announcer or it wasn't a commentator, so that's cool. But whoever it was, he was yelling at them very intently. So I think that's what set him off in game 1. So I don't think he has to be necessarily that level of just killer, but if he is tonight, it won't hurt. Like, obviously Brunson is a killer regardless. Like, if you watch Brunson play night in, night out, he's just a great player. Like, that's just Brunson as a player. But I don't think he'll have to have that pressure of having to make something happen down the stretch of this game. I feel like it'll probably be a more even stretch game where the Knicks feel like they don't have to fight their way back into it. I feel like it'll be kind of in reach for both teams kind of down the stretch. But if Brunson can replicate that, I feel like that'll take a lot of pressure off the Knicks as far as having to stress about having to, once again, come in clutch down the stretch of the game. If Brunson can replicate that, once again, he had 30 points in game 1. So if he can replicate that and the big shot making down the stretch, if he can replicate that, which I'm sure he can, Jalen Brunson makes big shots all the time. He's no stranger to big moments at all. So if he can continue that, which I'm sure he will, but as far as the numbers and replicating the moments and making the shots when they need them, he can replicate that. I think that takes a lot of pressure off the Knicks in general as far as being able to compete in this game and win this game. Also, for the Knicks to win, I feel like they have to replicate what they did in game 1, meaning they have to control points, rebounds, and assist. That's the one thing that's the three things they controlled in game one. Points, rebounds, and assists. They led in all three of those categories. Points, rebounds, and assists. And Josh Hart accounted for two of those categories, which was rebounds and assists. So shout out to Josh Hart on that. Brunson obviously led with the points, but but the Knicks in general, you got guys, you know what I'm saying, led in all those three categories. Now the Spurs led in 3-point shooting, but we'll get to Spurs in a minute. But the Knicks have to replicate that performance. I feel like they kind of have to form an all-around game. So kind of try to replicate that to where, like I said, you lead in all three categories: points, rebounds, assists. If you can, possibly lead in blocks if you can. I know that's kind of difficult to do when you have Wemby on the other side. I mean, who's 9'5". So so it's kind of difficult to kind of lead with blocks when you have him who's a cheat code that gets blocks like it ain't no thing. So it's kind of difficult when you have that on the other side. But if you can lead in blocks or a good thing, the Knicks got a whole lot of these in game one, and I think they need to continue this as well. Also, along with leading in the categories like points and assists and rebounds, keep going with the steals thing. Because I don't know if you guys paid attention to it, but in game one, when I tell you the Knicks were trying to get steals like crazy, and it was paying off. Don't get me wrong. They got a lot of steals. Now, Cat trying to get steals on Wemby is the only one that kind of didn't really pay off like that, because like I explained in the video yesterday, for Cat to be guarding Wemby has extensive arms, right? So for you to try to get a steal on Wemby, it's not more than likely you're going to get his arm, because he has such extensive arms. So more than likely you're going to get his arm. So Cat kept trying to get the steal. Understandable, right? Because if you get a steal, then everything that Wemby's trying to drive to the rim and do is negated, because you got the steal and you back on offense. But every time he would try to get the steal, he would get Wemby's arm, and then the refs would call it, and then Wemby would be going to the line. So those are the only steals that I saw that didn't necessarily pay off as far as trying to gamble for the steals. But any of the other ones I felt like were smart gambles. And the one that ended the game, or sealed the deal, for lack of a better way to put it, in my opinion, that one was just a great play. But that one was just a great play by Josh Hart, and he just took the opportunity. The one where I was talking about yesterday, where Wemby just slipped, it looked like Wemby slipped. And obviously, when you slip on a basketball court, you lose your dribble. So it looked like he slipped. And when he slipped, he lost the dribble, and Josh Hart was just right place, right time, and the basketball just rolled right to Josh Hart back on offense, and I was like, yeah, that probably sealed the deal on that. So I feel like they need to keep being aggressive on steals, keep up the physicality for the Knicks. That's the one thing. Also, the one thing, and this is probably one of the biggest keys for the Knicks tonight, in my opinion, they need that team continuity, that team going along with Brunson, going along with Brunson for the drive, making sure that Brunson, yeah, he gonna get his, but also the team, they're doing whatever they can do to win too. For example, here's what I'm talking about. This is outside of Brunson. I'm not counting Brunson. Check this out. 1, 2, 3. 3 players outside of Brunson had double figures on the Knicks. 3 players outside of Brunson. That was OG Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns, and Landry Shamet. They had double-digit points outside of Brunson. So I feel like they need to keep that up. But also, not even in the look at the role players, because role players, I feel like people get lost sometimes. Don't get me wrong, the Knicks were just great in game one as far as having double digits outside of Brunson. But you don't even, as a role player, you don't need to do that. Just contribute something. Contribute whatever. The other role players on the Knicks. Josh Hart had, like I said, 15 rebounds. He only had 3 points, though, but he contributed the rebounds. Can contribute something. McBride has 6 with 4, 6 points with 4 assists. Contribute something. Mitchell Robinson, his stuff is not shown on the stat sheet, because if you see it in game one at least, the way they're using Mitchell Robinson in this series is kind of like which is understandable because he is, let's just call it what it is, he is a big body, pause. And so they use him as that. So whenever Wemby's on the court and they need like a hard screen or whatever, they put Mitchell Robinson in, because they know, no offense to Karl Anthony Towns, but they know that Mitchell Robinson is a strong physical person, that Wemby, even though he has the height, Wemby might not necessarily be able to compete with the muscle of a Mitchell Robinson. So they use him in those roles, which I feel like is genius. I mean, you have these players, they all can fill a different void. So it's just kind of, as a coach, it's just kind of finding the void that they feel in certain series. So I feel like that they have done a great job just finding where these players fit. But like I said, the Knicks just have to go along with Brunson, be there with him, contributing something. Okay, just contributing something. And I feel like if they do that, if they contribute something to help Brunson, with the win, when Brunson isn't necessarily on, they need him. They need other players to contribute. They need other players to be trying to go get layups, other players to be trying to hit threes, other players to be trying to, get steals and make defensive plays, get rebounds like they did in game one. If they keep that up, I feel like the Knicks are in a great position to win. Now, on the Spurs side of things, their biggest key to victory, like I said in the video yesterday, don't hesitate. Don't hesitate. It was so many possessions in game one, like I talked about, where I feel like the Spurs were just hesitating. And don't get me wrong, I get it. I promise you I understand. Or at least from the outside looking in. We're in the finals. We're at home. This is the first game of the finals. We don't want to make any mistakes, really. We don't want to, turn the basketball over. We don't want to make a stupid play, right? We don't want to take an ill-advised shot. We don't want to take a shot when it was a better one available. I get that 100%. No problem with that at all. However, Wemby, you guys know I'm a LeBron fan. I'm going to use LeBron for an example. I'm going to use LeBron for example. Just, I hope you guys get it. LeBron James is a great player, right? He can do everything on the court, right? God blessed him with that ability to just do anything you need LeBron to do, he can do it. However, it's the best teams, in my personal opinion. I'm just going, as a LeBron fan, the best LeBron teams, in my personal opinion, the best LeBron teams are the teams where LeBron can choose to do everything, but he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to, but he chooses because he is LeBron and he knows that he's the leader of the team. He knows he can do all these things. He naturally feels the void of doing those things, but he doesn't have to. The teams where LeBron had to do those things, I kind of look at them not down in a way, but I kind of look at him as not as prepared as maybe some of his more, in my opinion, championship equipped teams were, because I kind of look not down on him, but kind of look at him in a dimmer light because of that. Because I look at it like the rest of your team should be contributing something to you. This shouldn't be, when you have a star player, it shouldn't be, well, we're all role players. You're the star player, so we're gonna sit here and we're gonna wait whatever you do, and we're just gonna follow it. We'll try to contribute, but when it comes to actually us making decisions and trying to actually help you out on this end, we just gonna like wait for you to do something, wait for something to happen. I don't think I get some people agree with that formula because it's kind of like a respect thing. Like, no, you kind of follow suit of your star player. You let them get the decision of what's going on. I get that. But also, your star player can't do everything. And I'm not saying that's what the Spurs are doing. It's just in game one, I feel like they were hesitating way too much, because it was so many times where I felt like they had chances to shoot. They had chances for great shots, bro. Like, it was great. I'm talking about from the three, from the mid range. And like I said, I get it. I'm not dogging on the Spurs or nothing like that. I'm just from outside looking in what I saw. I'm not dogging on the Spurs or nothing. But I'm talking about they had opportunities from three, from the mid range, layups, all of that. And I feel like they just hesitated because maybe Wemby wasn't in the right spot, or Wemby was still down court, running back on offense. So they would hesitate. And then what would happen a lot, they would hesitate, and then Wemby would finally get down court. So when Wemby gets down court, they would try to shoot it, but Wemby is still, trying to get his bearings from running down court. So he's running back on like offense. So he's running back. He's maybe the second to last player running back on offense. So he's running back, and naturally you're a little tired, a little gas. This is the NBA Finals, so he's trying to get himself together. And then when they shoot, Wemby's in a position to where he's trying to get the rebound too, but he's also still trying to regroup himself from running back up the court for defense. So it's kind of like it's so much going on to where they put, in my opinion, the way they kind of operate their system, or at least in game one, it kind of put Wemby in a position to where eventually you kind of felt like Wemby was going to tire out, because it kind of was like a situation where Wemby kind of always had the pressure to score. And Wemby was, don't get me wrong, Wemby was dealing with it amazing. Wemby would go score, get the and ones, get the free throws, hit the threes, get the rebound. He was doing great with it. It just, I don't feel like I feel like the Spurs have a lot of good players. They got De'Aaron Fox, Champagne. They got all these players. Castle, all these players. Harrison Barnes, all these great to good players, right, on their team. All the Vassell, all Johnson, all these players, right? I don't feel like that they need to be in a position to where we just kind of gonna sit back and no, y'all are great players. Like I said with Brunson, go along with Wemby. And a couple players did, like Champagne had a great game. He led in, he led in three point makes. So he had a great game. But and a couple other players had great games too. But I'm just saying, go along with Wemby in them clutch moments, in them moments where you need a three, like OG Anunoby was doing in game one. OG Anunoby shot. I don't know if it was no. I'm sorry, it was McBride. McBride was in the corner down the stretch of the game. Now this is crunch time. The game is still in reach for the Spurs. The Spurs still could have won by this point. McBride is running to the corner. Okay. He's running to the corner and just shoots it, and it banks off the glass and makes it off a 3-point corner shot. He had the confidence to take that. And if I'm not mistaken, it was still time on the clock. He just had the confidence to take that shot. OG Anunoby stepping in the three-pointers, confidently down the stretch, because he knows he's confident in his ability, like I feel like the Spurs should be. Okay, Wemby didn't make it to the finals. The Spurs made it to the finals. So be confident in your ability, bro. Like, look, De'Aaron Fox, if you got a 3-point shot, don't, I get it, trying to get a better shot, but bro, you De'Aaron Fox, like, you got a 3-point shot, take it, bro. Like, you got a 3-point shot, take the opportunity. You got a mid-range shot, take the opportunity. Like I said, he had a great game, but even Champagne down the stretch had a couple opportunities for threes where I felt like he probably could have extended the 3-point thing, but instead he kind of hesitated and kind of like tried to drive, look for Wemby. And I get it. Like I said, Wemby is 9'4", so I get it. But just be more confident in your abilities. And I'm not saying be arrogant or be like, oh, I'm the best player out here. I'm not saying do that, obviously. I'm just saying the Spurs made it to the NBA Finals, right? The Spurs made it to the NBA Finals. It don't say Wemby versus the New York Knicks. It says the Spurs versus the New York Knicks in the NBA Finals. That's what it says. So whether Wemby, I feel like, yes, you have Wemby on your team. That's a great blessing. That's a great blessing to have that. But down the stretch, look, if it get into a down the stretch moment tonight, or if you have an opportunity to maybe make a three or make a big moment that can swing the momentum, listen to the Spurs supporting cast. Take it. Take the opportunity. No, like take the opportunity. It's okay. Like if you miss the shot, who cares? Everybody misses shots. So what? Fans gonna talk about you on social media. So what? Y'all got another game to play. It's game 2. Y'all got another game to play. The series is not over yet. So just deal with the opportunities. Y'all are all NBA players. Okay, y'all are the top 1% of 1%. Okay, y'all are NBA players. Y'all are, once again, the top 1% of 1%. Be confident tonight. I think that's all the Spurs have to do to win tonight. I'll be honest. Be confident and go along with Wemby. Wemby, if he have 30, a lot of other people should be contributing. And I'm talking about not contributing through the game up to the point to where it get clutched out. No, I'm talking about they should be contributing. And they were to a certain point. I'm just saying, as far as this, they should be contributing. And when it come down to them clutch moments tonight, or if it come down to them clutch moments tonight, along with Wemby going out there and trying to make the clutch threes and everything, the Spurs need to be right along with them. They need to be right along with them. Wemby try to shoot a clutch three. Whoever, De'Aaron Fox, next time down the court, if he got the opportunity, step back, trying to shoot a clutch three. Go along with him. Y'all have the talent. Y'all did not make it this far just because y'all had Wemby and it was just luck. No, y'all made it this far because y'all were the best team in the West. Better than the Thunder, better than my team, better than the Lakers, better than all these other teams. The Spurs, y'all were that team out West. So don't get to the finals and feel like that y'all gotta just kind of just sit back and just let Wemby just cook in clutch time. No, look, yes, let him do his thing. If Wemby asks for the basketball, yeah, give him his touches. You know, that's Wemby. That's the star player. Okay, yeah, I don't have no problem with that. Give him his touches. But if it's a thing where Wemby's at the 3-point line and we all just at the 3-point line, don't look for Wemby to just take over. No. You in front of your defender, we going one-on-one. Make your move and try your shot. If it goes in, great. If it don't, okay, get back on defense. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Who cares about the criticism? Once again, you're an NBA player. You're the top 1% of 1%. At least you're out there trying. At least you're trying. No thing to say. So I think for the Spurs, they just got to go along with Wemby tonight. If they do that, I feel like they're in a great position to win. Go along with Wemby and make sure that they chill out on the foul calls too. Chill out on the foul calls, but mainly just go along with Wemby. Try to match Wemby as much as you can, contribute as much as you can, and don't let Wemby be in a position to where he has to do everything, because down the stretch it's gonna hurt. Because then when you need Wemby, he ain't gonna be there. Like in game 1, when they needed Wemby, he had already exhausted himself from the whole game. So I feel like he didn't really have anything left. No flack on him. It's just what it is. So go along with Wemby. Be more there to, like I said, contribute. And they do that. I feel like the Spurs are in a great position to win. Knicks, all y'all really got to do is listen. Control the glass. Do everything you did in game 1. Control the glass. Control the assist factor, and let Brunson do his thing, yes, but also try to do something. I'm not saying points or whatever, but if you can do points, that's great. Try to do something like you did in game 1 to go along with Brunson, to give Brunson something to fall back on, to when he's maybe not making shots, he can know that, okay, certain parts of the team are working to keep us ahead or keep us in this game. So when Brunson does go off, when he snaps it on, it's not really a stress for him to have to bring the Knicks back into the game. So if both teams follow that, I think it should be an interesting game tonight. I can't wait to see who wins. I'm definitely going to be all in attention. I can't wait to see who's going to get the advantage in this game. Once again, Knicks already up 1-0. If they win this game, they'll be up 2-0 going back to New York. So if they win tonight, I don't like necessarily how that looks for San Antonio, but they beat the Thunder, so who knows? We'll see what happens. But it's definitely going to be interesting for sure. Get your popcorn ready.